Yo, what's up, y'all? Doing something different, doing another reaction. Um, Shout outs to Arlette. She put out a oh my bad. Shout outs to Arlette. You know, she put up a catch up episode. Basically, the people who pick what they pick on the Pop the Balloon show, they match up, they have their date or whatever, and then they go from there. You know what I'm saying? So that's basically what the catch up is about. So shout outs to for people supporting today. Let me let people know where they can reach me at now. So, I got a TikTok now, so you can get at me at TikTok, get at me at the Fifth General, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. On TikTok, it is Fifth General TV. So, matter of fact, let me go ahead and I'm gonna put that in here. I think most people kind of already know how to get at a brother. Most of you already know that. So, long time coming, I'm gonna be doing more content on YouTube. That's not just the podcast. So we're gonna see how that works out for me. Long overdue, to grow the network. You know what I'm saying? I've aspired to do stuff like this a long time ago. So here it goes. It's at the bottom. Let me fix that. No, I don't think there's anything I can do about that. Just to look a little better. Oh well. All right, I won't keep y'all waiting. I gotta go to work in tomorrow, so let's get this in. This is my first time watching this, so I'll be reacting live at the same time y'all doing y'all thing. So let's go.
Feeling good. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm good. Jocelyn, how are you?
I'm all right, doing good. Thank you for asking.
Of course, we have you on episode, gosh, what episode was that? 12?
12, yeah.
Yeah, episode 12 of Pop the Balloon or Find Love, where you guys did end up matching. Okay.
Yes.
We got a match. Okay, I'll take this mic and you guys can go on up. Oh, look at y'all go. Let's give it up for them, y'all. Let's give it up. And then, so, from that point, we did, Eric, we've had you on a few episodes, so we know quite a bit about you by now.
Yeah, you've been on there,
Jocelyn, I think on there, you told us
maybe
a
like
little bit
3
about
times.
yourself. If you want to just let us know a little bit more, like, where you're from, what you like to do, all that good stuff.
Oh, all right. Well, hey, you all again. I'm Jocelyn from Prince George's County, Maryland. I'm just a regular girl working a 9 to 5. Not really that interesting. So yeah, that's all I got.
Okay. And so on the show we saw like you didn't really get any pop balloons on you. You did all of the popping. And near the last round, it was between Eric and another gentleman, Brian. Uh, what kind of made you lean more towards Eric instead of Brian? Because I feel like a lot of people were like, man, I feel like she was vibing with Brian. Like, I don't know if you felt that as well, but what kind of like helped you narrow down your thought process between the two of them?
Love and Hip Hop Atlanta is dropping its first cast
Sorry,
album.
Rihanna.
I want to put this album together with
That's new.
Brian just didn't seem as genuine. It seemed like he was a flirt, and it didn't really seem like his words had actual meaning behind it. So that was one of the things that made me pop his balloon. Let me see what else. But he was great. The conversation was great. It just didn't seem like the words had value behind it. So that's what led to the process of elimination.
Okay. And then Eric, we kind of saw this time around, you weren't super fake, I guess we could say, but maybe it's a better selection. I don't know. What was it this time
I mean, you
around?
did have a pretty good selection this time for sure. Yeah. So
Got it.
that helped. Yeah.
Okay, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. Well, I know everyone just kind of wants to jump right into things already. So obviously, since you guys have matched on the show, have you guys gone on a date? Have you hung out? All that good stuff?
Yeah, we've gone on multiple dates.
Oh my gosh.
And, yeah. we've hung out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You said multiple.
Multiple dates, yeah.
Oh, Jocelynn, you want to hop in there? Let me know about how the first date went.
The first date was really cool. It was right after we had the recording there. We went to Buffalo Wild Wings.
Okay. Who chose that spot?
Well,
I tried
what's
to
wrong
take
with
her.
that?
I was looking for a nicer restaurant,
Okay.
but I was really impressed with the fact that she was just happy to go to Buffalo Wild Wings, which I think that told me a lot about her initially.
Okay.
You know,
I mean,
it just
what's
says
wrong
that,
with?
you know, I'm just chill.
I'm not really a
You
fan of
don't have to
Buffalo
try to
Wild
impress
Wings.
me.
God. Okay, so she chose Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah, well,
'Cause
yeah,
I don't think
saw
they
it and
taste
she
that
was
good,
like,
to
"Yeah,
be
let's
honest.
just go there."
Oh,
So,
okay.
They're glorified wing style.
And then
in my
so this
opinion.
was right after the shooting, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. And then from there, like, how did things go? How'd you guys, like, how was the communication? How'd you go about planning the second date?
let me let her speak.
Jocelynn?
I'm sorry. So after that, we kept in contact. It was a lot of FaceTiming and a lot of just a lot of communication because we live in different states, different time zones, and we also have different schedules as well. So we kept in contact as much as possible. I would call him in the mornings. He would call me between his appointments. Like whenever he was working.
Appointments.
What is it called? Appointments.
Appointments.
Yeah. So he would call me between. So whenever we had time, and we had a great time. Yeah.
Okay. So how
Not
soon
even
after
Buster's.
did you go over to Austin?
Well, we matched on the 1st of June.
Okay.
And so we spent 2 weeks on FaceTime getting to know each other, asking
Yeah.
questions and all that stuff. And then I was traveling, you know, working. And so we ended up, I ended up coming to Austin, I think on the 26th.
Oh,
So-
wow. Okay.
Yeah. Was it 26th? 24th to 26th or so,
Mhm.
something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Nice.
then, yeah, just spent the week beforehand, we were going to do something else.
Okay,
mean-
so the whole week you were out there in Austin, you guys
They
kinda,
all
like,
hugged up
going
like
out,
they in a
doing different things.
relationship.
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
it. Okay, so Dave and Buster's was one of them that you did out there.
Dave and Buster's was the first one.
Okay.
Yeah.
What any other fun stuff?
Well, she showed me some places that she was fond of.
Okay.
Some place by the, it's like a river.
Mm.
Don't what's the name of that river place that we went to?
It's like Lady Bird Lake. It was like a boardwalk. It was pretty nice. He bought Capri. Capri's like really cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
She's allergic to Capri, by the way.
Uh-oh.
I am.
Oh, because Capri.
Oh my
is
gosh, what
the
happened?
dog.
I got hives. It was actually really bad.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how allergies work before cats and
Immediately.
stuff.
Capri's the dog, I
Oh
guess.
wow.
Yeah, like I broke out in hives after Capri like touched me. It was yeah.
Okay, so it was like he had. Sorry, is it a boy or a girl?
It's a girl.
A girl. Okay, so so she had to like touch you in order for that to happen, or was like just like being in the same area.
I really truly it's never happened to me before. Capri,
Oh my
like
gosh.
I don't know how it happened. I was just playing with Capri. Next thing you know, I have like hives all over my arms and my legs. So
Did you have to go to urgent care or like it?
I
What?
thugged it out. I thugged it out a little bit. When I went home, I took a Benadryl and was knocked out. So it was cool.
Okay.
It wasn't too bad.
Got it. So that was the first and last time meeting Capri.
Yes. No. Well, she's. I think you've been around recent, right?
Okay. Beforehand.
No, I kept her away.
Oh, okay. Got it. Okay. So how was the time in Austin? Like, how was it? Like the time spending with each other, all that stuff.
Guess I won't be making my famous burgers.
I bet this is a microstorm.
What's a microstorm?
I don't actually know.
The 2024 season is in full gear.
Cool. So I think he were downtown. I don't really want to give like where I live, but he was like downtown.
No, don't.
Yeah, he was a little bit further away from where I was staying. So whenever I got off of work, I would come down and see him. I think we hung out every day for the most part.
Yeah, give or take a couple of days. Well, there was one day actually, I think,
One day, what?
because you had to go to Houston. Remember?
Yeah,
Oh.
my life. That's a story for another day. But yeah, I had to go to Houston. No, ever since this show aired, a lot of things have been happening. But I did have to go to Houston like one night, and then I came back, and that's the day I didn't see him. But other than that night, yes, I saw him every day.
Like every other day. Wow. Okay. Sounds like you guys are spending a lot of time
So-
getting to really know each other. All that good stuff. Okay. And then
Let me kind of pause it. Look, so far it sounds like they build like some type of, I don't know, like he seems to be dating. They seem to be dating with intention, because from what I'm getting, there's an effort, you know what I'm saying, to actually, like, there's pursuit here. It's not like we popped the balloon just so we can have one date. They went on a series of dates, and when you look at this footage, they look pretty close. You know, I mean, there's more to go. I'll just play more.
so the week in Austin.
Right.
After that, have you guys kept communication? How was that going?
Yeah. So about 2 weeks in, I was very excited. We were getting to know each other. I had lists and lists upon lists of questions. And every time I met her up, I would ask her all these questions, just trying to get to know her.
Okay.
And, I felt like we had a genuine connection. And it really hit me, the fact that she wasn't really interested in like going to like nice places and was just happy to do, regular things.
Mm.
So I thought it would be,
Okay.
it would be nice to do something special for her.
Okay.
So I asked her if she would like to go on a vacation trip to a European country of her choice. And
Well, all right then.
and so we ended up, she decided on Santorini. Always wanted to go there. She'd never been there.
Okay.
I
And
don't.
so, yeah, so I planned for that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So after you guys, you said you got to know each other, speak all that good
don't
stuff.
know.
Right
I
away,
don't-
you were like,
All right, I don't know. I don't know. Hold on, let me. Man, let me blow the screen up for a second. Someone's probably gonna look at this, right, and then say, "Well, it ain't tricking if you got it, right? Even if you got it, it's still tricking, right?" I'm not gonna say he tricking, because this is obviously someone that he's putting time and effort and resources into. Obviously, when you're talking about let's go on a trip, but man, my advice to men out there, man, if y'all not in a exclusive relationship yet, there's no need to do that. You know what I'm saying? Because you did all of that, and then let's just say she's still not feeling you. You done paid all that money to take her out to a European country that ain't cheap. You know, this ain't, going to Las Vegas. You know what I mean? So I'll hold my thoughts and let more play.
All right, pick a European country.
Well, I was already traveling, so I
Okay.
was on the road. I'd been on the road for a month, and so I was nearing the end of it. And I thought it was coincidental that I was ending up in Austin, and she lived in Austin.
Mm-hmm.
So I was saying at the end of this trip, I also need a break. So
Okay.
so it just worked out that way. But
Got it.
yeah, I just wanted to, have fun and go out and do something adventurous together.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Santorini, Greece. What made you pick that place? First of all, let me backtrack. Were you shocked that, someone who you just met was asking you like, girl, let me take you out of the country? Like, how was that?
It was definitely a shocking question. I haven't been asked that so early within knowing a person.
Okay.
I wouldn't say it was a love bomb, but hey, I'm here for the illusion regardless. But I had a great time. Yeah.
Okay.
Dang.
So I guess obviously at that time, I know you said you don't want to say it was a love bomb,
Hold on,
but
bro.
obviously you were comfortable.
That's why, and this is why you don't want to. If you was in a relationship, right, your woman, well, she better not call that a love bomb. Because she's your woman at the moment. You know what I'm saying? That's not going to be a love bomb. Nah. That wouldn't be what that is. So obviously, from that point of the date, they were not in a relationship at all, which I assumed. And then she said, "Oh, I'm here for the delusion." Man, let me play more, man.
Enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then so once you guys, got to Greece, how was that? Like, first of all, how was traveling together? Because I know a lot of people are always like, man, traveling with someone really shows you how they are, all that stuff. Like, how was that?
That is, to be fair, why I did it.
Okay.
Was because we were getting to know each other, and so I was thinking to myself, let's. It's not to say that we're speeding it up, but it's just to know for sure.
Okay.
And I've had this experience before, where you travel with someone, and through that experience, you get to really see, the literal shits and the metaphorical shits of who they are, and they get to see you as well. And so I think at that point you can make more certain decisions about to proceed or not.
Okay.
To proceed.
So in the beginning, the traveling there, that was good for you guys. Like how, Jocelynn, I guess we'll start with you, Jocelynn.
Uh-oh.
She's shaking her head.
No, traveling there was great. We weren't really sitting next to each other all the time.
It's a booking error.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm about to say, because brother, how you pay for the trip? You're not sitting with her.
Overall, it was a great experience.
What, the traveling was a great experience, or
hold on, this brother was
or the
doing
whole
it
trip
here
altogether?
This brother was in love.
So you've been injured in a recent car accident.
Hold on, a lot of ads, y'all.
I was specifically talking about the traveling there part. It was pretty cool. It was nice.
Okay.
It wasn't any issues traveling there.
Got it. Okay. So now once you guys have gone to Greece. Did you guys have like a whole itinerary plan? Like, who did the itinerary planning? I feel like you like to do that kind of stuff. Or
I deferred to her. I wanted to give her some options and see what she was into, but I think we tried to keep it loose.
You
so
know
that
what?
every day would feel to some
I'm gonna
degree
just say
like
this,
a new
right? I'm gonna
adventure.
give her props.
Okay, so you guys didn't do too many
Attractive woman.
activities, or you didn't plan too much?
You know what I'm saying?
I had an
Attractive
idea
woman.
of an activity for each day.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Okay.
there was definitely food involved. Restaurants.
I hope so.
And, restaurant dates and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, like, yeah, walk me through the trip. Like, what'd you guys do? How did it go?
Well, the first day we just went to a restaurant down from where we were staying, and we had a very nice apartment overlooking the city. You know, could watch the sunrise, watch the sunset. It was really nice. We went on a boating trip to see some of the tiny islands, just different restaurants.
Okay.
Really, yeah.
Nice.
Rented an ATV, and that's how we got around.
Very cool. So you had the ATV for the whole duration of the trip?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that was.
yeah. No, over there you could just ride ATVs. You know. Like,
wow. Because I know like I
obviously
haven't been to Greece, but every time I look at Greece and other people's videos, I just see like a bunch of hills and houses on top of houses.
Yeah, no, it's tough to navigate for sure.
I bet. That's why I was like, hey,
I won't comment on what I just saw.
Okay, and obviously, Jocelynn, you chose the place. So, like, did you have things in mind already that you're like, okay, when we get there, we have to do this? And were you guys able to do them?
Yeah, everything I wanted to do, we did. There was this area, like this town called Oya. It's where most of the houses are white, but there's a few blue tops. Like
I think I'm sensing something.
I've seen that. Yeah,
that was the main thing I wanted to do. So we saw that, and it was nice. We watched the sunset from there.
I'm sensing something. Okay, nice picture. I'm sensing something here. Now, I'm going to tell you where the mistake was made. Other than the fact that he took out on a trip and they not a couple. He asked her, he left it up to her to see where she wanted to go. Obviously, this is a place that she probably would have went through at some point of her life, whether with another man or herself, girls trip, whatever, that she would probably pay with, if she wasn't going with the man, she'd be paying for it by herself. And because he offered, she's like, well, I've always wanted to go to this place. So here's where the problem is. If a lady cares more about the trip than the experience with the person, then basically you were just a means to an end. Or a means to a result, meaning, I'll say yes, only not because I want to go with you, but because I want to go. I'm not saying this is her intention yet. I'm still analyzing, but I'm just kind of giving some perspective. This is why you want to be careful with the whole trip thing. I know people do it, I know, but just because you can doesn't mean you should. You know what I'm saying? So just want to make sure that's understood. I'll play more so that I have more full context.
Okay. And obviously, I can tell like with the viewers and everyone and here I can feel that there is quite a lot of tension going on.
See?
So how did that trip end?
Something happened.
Or Arlette, why are you always trying to get to
let's get to it because I'm feeling
this is not a good sign.
Right now. And I don't know if it happened on the trip, after the trip, or who wants to start it off?
Our very first event on the very detailed person.
Okay.
I take a lot of notes. I try to be introspective, so it wasn't really a big deal, but should I talk about it? Or
I would just like to say that we realized on this trip that we're not as compatible as we thought we were. We just had just disagreements and
Lord. Brother.
Hey, bro, come on now, dog.
Come on, man.
All right. Let me make this screen bigger. This is why you don't do that. So you wait till after the man pays for this trip. You wasn't compatible. You felt that you would. He felt that he was compatible with you. But you felt like you wasn't compatible with this brother before he paid for the trip. The hustle wins again. But I got to get on this brother, man. What's his name? His name is Eric. Eric, do not make a mistake like this ever again. Yo, you got to hold this for your wife, man. A trip like this, or a committed relationship at least. I mean, y'all wasn't even exclusive and you did this, brother. Oh, man. And I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed for him. More so. Because I think she knew that it wasn't going to go that way. I can almost guarantee it. She knew. So she went with the flow. Like I said, and you know what? I thought I spoke too soon. I thought I did, but I didn't. I'll play some more. I'll play some more. Let me get back to. Yeah. All right.
And we just realized that we're great people. We're just not great for each other.
Jesus
and
Christ. I wish you would have realized that before that bread got spit on that trip.
I will be fair. I will be honest. I am to some degree stumped at the decision not to continue. And we've spent a lot of time throughout the argument working through, the reactions, but never really addressing the initial cause.
Okay.
And it did start off with her just saying she wants to leave. And
okay, I wasn't wrong at all. He wanted that. She didn't want that. And I thought I was speaking too soon, saying that I felt that it was that she always knew. Now she's saying the words we instead of me. He's letting her know that it was her. She is not contesting anything that man is saying. So obviously his story is matching up. I think I don't know what she's trying to do. But his story definitely matching up. And this is why, yo, you know what, Eric, I don't know if you got some brothers in your corner who's speaking to you, you know what I'm saying, and giving you some advice. This advice will not hurt you, man. There's nothing wrong with taking a woman. The trip is not so much the problem. The trip is fine. The stage is wrong. The stage is wrong. Y'all, nothing was established yet. There was no foundation yet. And you did that. You know I would have to say this has probably happened to a lot of brothers, man. Well, not brothers, men, right? You know, men who got their heart in the right place. And maybe some who don't, because like she said, I knew something was up when she called it a possible love bomb. And like I said, if that's your girlfriend wouldn't use those words love bomb because that's your girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? All right, man. I'll play more.
The first disagreement? She said,
That was the
leaving?
second disagreement.
Oh,
The
okay.
first disagreement was when I came to her place.
Austin.
The first time, yeah.
Oh,
So yeah, I was staying at an Airbnb and at an Airbnb, but on the last day, I decided we were going to go over there and pack and stuff. But you know, everything was everywhere, messy. She seemed like she was doing a lot, so I wanted to step in and help. So I was going in to move some shoes around, and then she was reprimanded me, I guess is the way to say it, and just like that would piss her off for me to move stuff around. And so
did you ask her before you just started moving
well
stuff?
I didn't
Okay.
but that's the thing is, you know, I didn't want to make a big deal of it. She asked me to take the trash out,
Okay.
and I did. But I also felt like she had said to me that she would like to keep an open space, a safe space where I could just tell her things in the moment. So I think for me it was also a good point to test that out. You know, is it okay for me to tell you that the way you're saying that to me made me feel some type of way?
Okay.
You know, so
obviously you guys worked through that
worked through it. Yeah.
You went to Greece afterwards still, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, and we talked about it a bit at the airport.
They should have never went to Greece, man.
And then we went on a trip. Everything was great up until I think the fifth day or so. Yeah, I don't want to go into too many details just out of respect to her as well.
Yeah.
But I think that at some point I also, you know, she wants to go slow, which is fine. I was trying to be respectful of that as a boundary, but I felt that I'd been just going on at her speed for most of the time. So I also wanted to set some boundaries to help me respect her boundaries. So I think that's where the initial communication malfunction occurred, perhaps.
Oh. Why aren't they texting me back? Are they mad at me?
And to backtrack, I you know, when people argue,
you know,
everyone argues a certain way.
I'm gonna speak. This brother, man, you know, he really liked this woman, man. You could tell by the way he's talking. He's emotionally caught up. He's shielding his words because at the same time, he's hurt by what happened, but he doesn't want to play like nothing happened. You understand? So I have a feeling that this is how he operates with most women, or women that he thinks for him is a certain caliber. And I get it. She's a pretty woman. So maybe he feels like to him, she's like a bad chick. Like, you know what I mean? She's like a I don't know, an 8, 9, or a 10 for him, right? And typically men will do more for what they find is more, what has more value, to be honest with you. The finer the chick is, the more they'll put in. And it seems like they had here's my thing. If you're not in a relationship, right, and you're just going on dates and you're having these disagreements, then there's not going to be a relationship. You shouldn't have disagreements already over like, you know, 4 or 5 dates. You know, you're not going to have that with somebody that you actually want to be with. You want to be with somebody, you're not going to have that tension. It doesn't make sense for that to happen in the talking and dates stage. You know, if you're a couple and you done been through some stuff, you know what I'm saying? Y'all been rocking with each other for several months. I can get that. I mean, then again, he doesn't tell you how many months it's been, but he just said it was a couple of dates. But that doesn't contribute to a trip to Greece. And I know, I know cats who got money. You know, when you got disposable income like that, you don't see it as a loss like somebody else who doesn't have disposable income like that. You know, you won't see, you know, they don't see it as they're not your everyday people. Everyday people are going to be like, that's going to hit their finances hard to the point where it takes weeks to months to make up for. You know, he may have it like that. So he may not, and he's probably like, he's said this before, he's traveled with someone in the past. So I guess he's used to, doing this. And I said this on Mrs. Z and Fifth, one of our episodes. Money don't keep no woman, man. It don't. So that's not, when you got money and you got a lady, that relationship is not promised tomorrow because you got money. No, money doesn't guarantee you a solid woman. Notice how I said a solid woman. A pretty woman, maybe, but a solid woman who actually like you for you, money's not going to be the magnet for that. You better have something more than that. So, he may feel it's the right move, but it was for the wrong person considering, how she's talking. So I'll play more.
My way of calming down is to take breaks and move away and relax, put things down, and then cut them. And I told her this in the beginning. We were trying to figure out our argumentative styles.
Yeah, y'all shouldn't be fighting argument.
So
y'all just have
when
dates.
this happened, I took a break and I went to sit on a stoop and and so while I was there just talking to a friend of mine, she sent me a text that she wanted to leave and asked if I could take her to the airport.
This is in Greece.
Yeah, that was in Greece, like about the 5th day or so. And so so I was just like, well, we have an ATV first of all, so I can't drive you to Greece. But I didn't want to do it. I said, if you want to go, you can go. But I asked her not to go. I said, just take a moment, calm down, relax, and then you can decide later on. So that was kind of where things started spiraling.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Jocelynn, Eric kind of touched on a bit that at one point during the trip, I believe you said on the 5th day, you said that, yeah, I'm leaving, all that stuff. What led you to come to that point?
What led me to come to that point was
get ready.
How we disagreed. We said words that were hurtful to each other.
Why? Why at that? Why?
And I held grudges against him, which caused me to be uncomfortable while being there. And I didn't want to be uncomfortable on a vacation when it's supposed to be a good time. The way we handled the situation in general just showed ourselves. Like I showed off, he showed off, and it just wasn't a comfortable environment to be in, especially for it to be in a different country and we don't really know each other. I just didn't feel at ease being there.
You're not supposed to be going.
How? Hold on, bro. How?
You're not supposed to be going on trips and y'all don't know each other. I think I know what happened. I don't know if I should say it, but I'm an adult. People who are watching are adults. I think y'all know what happened on one of those dates and visits. And what happened between them, if it happened, is why there's the confusion and the tension. I think that's what that is. Yeah.
With him. So I felt like at the time, the best way to get out of an uncomfortable situation is to leave. I'm not saying that was the best decision. Maybe I could have stayed and talked to him and talked it out. But at the time, I did what felt right to me.
Okay.
Well, it was on the 5th day. She already had her fun on Greece, made it to her bucket list.
Okay.
What's the point of staying?
So after you left, have you guys been in any type of contact, any communication? You have?
Yeah, so after we left, Eric still had to come back to my apartment because we shared a suitcase coming there. So he still came back to my apartment. We talked it out. We hugged. Like, we had like every discussion, every disagreement we had, we talked about off camera, and I've apologized. He's apologized. A lot of things were already discussed. So when he came back to the apartment, like, it was fine. At least in my head, it was fine. I walked him to the door. It was cool. Like, in my head, it was cool. And even afterwards, when he flew back to Las Vegas, I checked on him to make sure he landed safely, making sure he's getting sleep. He told me has more appointments. So we did keep in contact for the day after when we landed back in the States.
Okay, I see here. Jocelynn, you stated, like, you guys were having disagreements. You were
Arlette,
saying like
Arlette's a
hurtful
beautiful
things
woman.
to one another, all of that. How was it, like, dealing with those disagreements?
It was aggravating. We were disagreeing on things that we were disagreeing about the boundaries that we both set for each other, which is just very childish on both of our end. But after that, we chose to react off of our emotions at the time. So, in the morning time, I didn't really think that the situation was as bad as it was. But in the morning time, like, Eric had like left, and I think you were doing laundry. I mean, he had things to do. I don't really want to say he was just up and left, but just that entire day, for the most part, we didn't really speak. It was either he was in the room and I was in the living room, or he was out shooting footage, or he was out doing laundry. So we just really weren't talking on the day after we had that huge disagreement. It was to the point, it was almost as if we were avoiding each other. And it just didn't, it was just weird.
At TJ Maxx, you can afford to turn your closet into a place of endless expression.
So you got up the next day and just says,
well, I told her beforehand that I had to do laundry. I'd run out of clothes. I travel with a bag, So I went out to do laundry. I went out running 3 miles up the hill. I was tired. When I came back, I went to bed. But before I went to bed, we'd made a plan, something she wanted to go see about 5 p.m. or so.
Okay.
And I'd slept through it. And when I woke up, I asked her, hey, you still want to go do that thing? And she's like, no. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, well, if you don't mind, I'm going to go and shoot some pictures or something. Mm-hmm. I'd lost the key to the apartment. Mm-hmm. So I had to go back and look for it. So that's what I did instead. Mm-hmm. So I was going back to the location where I'd run to. Mm-hmm. I found the key. I came back. And that's then where we had another set of conversations. Okay. Because she kind of called me to the couch and like, hey, what's going on? And so I told her, I was like, nothing is wrong. I'm fine. I just feel like I have to be a bit more distant about cuddling and, kissing, because it feels sometimes when I try to do it, it seems like you're uncomfortable. You kind of back away. Okay. She wants to kiss. She doesn't want to make out, things like that. So I'm like, okay, I don't want to be too overbearing. So I'm going to kind of create a little bit of a boundary.
Let me stop.
Let
me stop it. I'm just, this is what happens when you don't have here's the thing. Maybe I missed something. Maybe I didn't. When you start off on the wrong foot, hold on, let me talk to y'all. When you start off on the wrong, when you start off on a foundation that's like not solid, right? You encounter these problems. I don't know. Look, at the end of the day, here's a couple things. He said he kind of followed her lead on a lot of stuff. Oh, man, as a man, you got to lead that. You have to tell. Like, here's the thing, man. I get that. Some of us, or a lot of us, as men, we don't want to put our full cards on the table, right? I get it. There's a bit of a game to it at times. There's a head game, not intentionally, but there is a head game to it at times. But what I want to say is, just as a man, you got to let that know exactly what it is that you want. Look, this is what I want. I'm dating. We going on dates, but I'm looking for a relationship. I want to be exclusive. I want us to be in a relationship. If that's something that you would agree to. You have to say what it is that you want, and then she could accept or deny. She's saying stuff like they're on different. I feel it sounds like they're on different pages because he's basically saying how he wanted things, and she's saying, well, there was just some things I was uncomfortable with because we didn't really know each other. Now this man's talking about their affection level. Their affection level sounds like the reason why there's affection there is because it started off because at some point it got sexual. So now you're trying to it's like you bought a puzzle, right? And then you got all the pieces together. And then now you're trying to fit a piece that doesn't fit with something because you got lost in the shuffle somehow. My analogy is off. Sorry. I'll get to where I'm saying. I was trying to sound smart. But what I'm trying to say is this. When you start off wrong like this, then you have these encounters. I think if he would have nailed home what it is that he's looking for and a schedule, a realistic schedule, then it would kind of give her some reassurance. Or that could be the red light that goes off in her head that says, you know what, I don't want this. And then you could end this sooner. Now, I get it. Sometimes we could go into something and then you're only going to go by what somebody says to you. You're going to take their word, right? That's all you can do because you can't read minds. You're not a psychic. So then you leave it up to what it is that they tell you. But I really feel like if he would have led more aggressively, and I don't mean aggressively like he got a strong arm on some pimp stuff. No, I don't mean that. I mean, if he was a little more, because she sounds like she has an assertive side in her. Because I'm understanding very clearly what she's saying. But when I hear her talking, when I hear him talk, their wires are crossed. Something is not being communicated properly. Or it is being communicated, but it's not being comprehended properly. The right thing for this brother that he could have done dates ago before they went on this trip was to walk away. Too bad he didn't pick up on it because he said he wanted to work it through. He liked this woman. He probably saw something in her so great that he probably was like, yo, if I work this out, this woman could be my wife and the mother of my children. It's possible that he thought that. I don't know what she thought because she's not really giving those answers. If anything, she's not even there physically. That's a reason too. I really don't think she liked him like that. I think he was here and she was here. Like he was here and she was here as far as the speed limits. You know what I'm saying? They driving on the same road, but he's going way more faster than she is. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'll get more to it, and let this play out because this is almost over.
Go do things, but she didn't wake me up, and she said that I should have set an alarm. So, I called her passive. I said that was a passive statement because we're in this together. So, wake me up. And yeah.
So all of this was before she said, I'm leaving?
It sounds like they're in a relationship, right?
Like, in the
it sounds like they're in a
she just
committed relationship.
On
his
this
side.
is literally,
on her side,
I went outside to
like
take a break. And she sent me a text, I'm going to the airport. It was so abrupt. It caught me off guard. So I was like, what's this nonsense? The Nigerian in me came in and I was like, I don't understand what you mean you're leaving. Go take
Yeah.
a break and relax. If you want to get an Airbnb, go get an Airbnb. You don't leave, you know, there's nothing to leave.
So
for.
how long did you guys have this trip booked for?
7 days.
7 days. Okay. And then Jocelyn, you ended up leaving on the 5th day or the 6th day, or what day was it?
Was it the 4th? Was it the 5th day?
6th.
I left on the 6th day. Okay.
You left on the 6th day, yeah.
I see.
She don't even remember.
Okay, so with him,
just show you how much that
with
meant.
that thing you guys wanted to do, you didn't want to just like wake him up, or what was going on with that part?
So we already knew that there was tension before then. Before he took the nap, before everything, like the big argument happened the day before. So when he went to sleep, I don't know, it's like I don't really know how to explain it. I could have woken him up to answer your question.
She was
could have woken him up.
She was being spiteful. That's what that tells me. She was being spiteful, man, because like she said, they already had like an argument. So her thing is like, man, to heck with you, man. I ain't waking you up. I ain't feeling you no way anyway. Yo, you know what? I'll save that for the end. Let me play more. I got something to say.
It was already talked about what I wanted to do. It was already a time that we set. I don't know. I'm just considerate. So if I would have done that to somebody else, or somebody else would have planned something that they really wanted to do and they're dependent on me for transportation, I would have made sure that I was present for that moment. And I never woke Eric up ever. I don't wake people up out of their sleep. I would hate for somebody to wake me up out of my sleep. We actually talked about this as well. Like, that's something that we just don't do.
Oh, that's different.
I don't wake people up. That's one thing I don't like. If you oversleep, like you oversleep. Like it wasn't a life or death situation. You know what I'm saying? Like if he overslept, then he overslept. I was upset back in the day. Like we didn't go to something I wanted to do. Okay. Like it was fine.
So would you say like that was like the last straw for you, him oversleeping?
No, the last straw was the day before. I don't really know. So with me, it's like once my mind is made up on something, it's pretty much made.
Yes,
so
you were being spiteful.
When I booked the flight, it was kind of like already.
He would have woke you up.
Anything he did after that was kind of like, okay, I see. I'm leaving soon anyway.
On this 7-day trip, or 6, I think you say you left on the 6th. On what day did you realize, yeah, this is it for me? I'm done.
That's a great question. It wasn't. Let me see. Give me a second. I don't really remember what day it was when it hit me like I'm done. It was just a feeling that I had when I was just like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not arguing anymore. I'm not being upset anymore. You know, it wasn't necessarily, oh, this day I got mad. It was just really like a feeling like I don't want to feel like this. I don't have to feel like this, you know? So that's really what happened. I don't know what day that was. I really don't know. It was probably the day I booked the flight, to be honest. But I just had a feeling. I'm like, I don't want to argue with this man anymore. I don't want to be uncomfortable in a foreign country with this man anymore. So that's really what it was. But afterwards, I didn't want to have a
they must have had quite the fight
relationship with Eric anymore, because I think Eric can still be a great person. So I was hoping that we can have a platonic, just cordial friendship afterwards. I know I didn't want to date him anymore, but I did.
I beg your pardon? I beg your pardon?
I get it now. I get it now. She was on Pop the Balloon. I mean, she had to choose somebody, right? Or not. For the men that were left, he ended up being the most decent choice. She was trying to see if something was there. She's given him props for being still a decent man. So she's not throwing water on him. But at the same time, this was not his woman. It seems like the friends thing is what she was more okay with to begin with. That was something that she was on board with. I'm looking at both of their body language, man. She made a decision a long time ago that she did not want to have a serious relationship with him. I'm paying close attention to her words. She's not a bad person. But I do think she made a careless decision. But people are watching, and a man is going to watch this or not, because he may not be in the YouTube. And he's going to vet her differently. The next man that she gets with, she is going to have to come 90 while he comes 10. Or maybe not. But there's a very nonchalant attitude about her. And I think it's because from the beginning, she just was not feeling him like that. But I'll play more.
I didn't want it to be as if he's out of my life completely, because he is cool. Like, Eric is a cool guy. Like, honestly, he's cool. He has a lot of skills, plays instruments. He's a really cool guy, honestly. He has a lot of great qualities about himself. I just didn't want to date him anymore. So, yeah.
This is the little secret of adult film.
Here's the thing. A relation.
Eric, anything you want to add?
Hold on, I'll go back.
So we could just wrap this up.
They did not have a relationship. That was not a relationship. He wanted one. Now, he could have, I wonder if he said to her, hey, I want to be exclusive, and she told him, I'm not ready yet. That's possible. But I don't know. He won't disclose that. She won't disclose that. But she said she didn't want to have a dating relationship with him no more. See, I pay attention to those words. They were just dates. Like, they were not serious. They may have done a serious thing, within that time frame from the affection talk he's talking. Or maybe not, I don't know, or maybe so. I mean, I'm sure the hotel was together that they had in Greece. I'm sure that when they were, she talked about how he'd been to a place a couple times. I mean, the math is math in there. But I'll let it play out because they're almost done.
I take notes, so I have the dates. July 5th was the day we went to dinner. It was the day that we had a conversation. You asked me to tell you what my expectations were of you.
Okay, let's go.
I told you that I would like more hugs. I said you're bad at hugs. Remember that?
Oh.
So she said, yeah, I'm going to work on that,
Oh my
and I
God.
told her that I felt like every time I gave her hugs, maybe she was feeling like it was trying to lead to something else. I'm like, no, the hug is really just a hug. Like, just put your arm around my head, and that's all it needs to be, And so she's like, yeah, I'll do better, and that was that. The dinner was great. The next morning, is when I went for the run early, and I wake up early, I go for the run. So when I came back, she wanted to have a conversation that afternoon because she said things were seeming weird and I seemed distant. So I was trying to explain to her why I was distant. First of all, I was tired, but second of all, I'm just trying to give you some space, and I don't want to feel like I'm overcrowding you, essentially. And it was literally within 20 minutes of that conversation, she sent me the text, "Can you take me to the airport?" So it came out of nowhere, literally.
Okay. All right. Well, after this trip, did you guys, I know you said, did you guys communicate at all after this trip, or was she left and that was it? I think you had mentioned you guys shared a suitcase, so eventually you had to see him again. So how did that happen?
It was cool. Like, honestly, so from everything that we just expressed to us getting back to Austin, we had conversation. Everything seemed fine. We came to understanding that we both said things that didn't need to be said. We both did things that didn't need to be done. Like, we've had conversations and everything was fine in my eyes. I thought everything was fine. When we got back to Austin, we talked about the trip. We said our goodbyes. He got his stuff, walked him to the door. He left. Yeah, and the next day he took a flight. I checked on him. I was like, "Hey, are you at the airport? Did you make it there on time?" He was like, "Yeah." It was just regular. It was regular conversation, as if you're checking in on a person who's taking a flight. That's really what it was. I made sure he landed.
But meanwhile, I was like, "Why are you checking in on me after you've just walked away from me?" You know, like I'm like, the thing was weird to me because I was like, if this is a simple disagreement two people can have, we've apologized to each other. So we continue. It's 2 arguments. It's not enough to decide you don't want to speak to someone anymore.
So in your head, after that trip, after she was checking in on you, you were
sorry. I'm sorry. I forgive you. I forgive you. I thought, okay, yeah, we're back on track. We've sorted it out.
Okay.
So
and then, so how did you find out that you guys are no longer dating?
I don't want to miss this opportunity. He said, no. Let's go back.
Forgive you. I forgive you. Because I was like, if this is a simple disagreement.
Yeah. Things that did.
I think you had mentioned you guys shared a suitcase, so
I'll do better. And that was, so she said, yeah, I'm going to work on that. We had a conversation. You asked me to tell you what my expectations were of you.
Here we go.
I told you that
first sign
I would like more hugs. I said, you're bad at hugs. Remember that?
Wow.
So she said, yeah, I'm going to work on that.
Drinking of water.
And I told her that I felt like every time I gave her hugs, maybe she was feeling like it was trying to lead to something else. I'm like, no, the hug is really just a hug. Like, just put your arm around my head. And that's all.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of confusing. He's not confusing. He's telling the truth because you know how I know he's not lying? Because she hasn't challenged anything that man has said. She hasn't challenged it. So that is a sign, man. I know some people have different levels of affection. This is why it's this is why it's good for you to be with someone who matches your love languages. I mean, physical touch is one of them, but I mean, if you're someone who thrives off of affection that is safe and healthy. I mean, ain't like the man was trying to have sex out in the open. I mean, he just said hugs, but oh man. And she wasn't feeling him, man, because body language does tell a story. If a man is into his woman or a woman is into a man, you know, I get it. People have like physical boundaries, but you never beg a woman. Not saying he's begging, but she saw it as begging. And man, that hit home, man. In my past, I remember being in a but it was very short though, because it had to end because it wasn't going nowhere. I know what it's like to be with somebody who not feeling you like that. And it kind of throws you off because you thinking, you know, but yeah, I know what that's like. That's tough, man. That was a younger me who didn't have the best grasp on female nature and also reading the signs correctly. I remember almost having a similar conversation with someone in my past many years ago. And no, that's not a good feeling. Yeah. You know, I'm gonna get back to playing it, but it just goes to show you, man, that it wasn't mutual. You know, you can't work something out that's not mutual. I mean, that's what a relationship is. But it almost sounds like they were just like going on dates. I think to him it was the start of a relationship, but to her it just sounds like dates. And when you look at some of that footage they posted, it looks like they were good together. You know, I saw them being affectionate. I don't know what the heck happened. I mean, I know what happened. I mean, she just wasn't rocking with him like that. But I'll play more.
That's all it needs to be, you know. And so she's like, yeah, I'll do better. And that was that. The dinner was great. The next morning is when I went for the run early, and I wake up early. I go for the run. So when I came back, she wanted to have a conversation that afternoon because she said things were seeming weird and I seemed distant. So I was trying to explain to her why I was distant. First of all, I was tired, but second of all, I'm just trying to give you some distant some space, and I don't want to feel like I'm overcrowding you.
He was feeling distant because he wasn't feeling appreciated and wanted.
It was literally within 20 minutes of that conversation, she sent me the text, "Can you take me to the airport?" So it came out of nowhere, literally.
Okay. All right. Well, after this trip, did you guys? I know you said, did you guys communicate at all after this trip, or was she left and that was it? I think you had mentioned you guys shared a suitcase, so eventually you had to see him again. So how did that happen?
It was cool. Like, honestly, so from everything that we just expressed to us getting back to Austin, we had conversation. Everything seemed fine. We came to understanding that we both said things that didn't need to be said. We both did things that didn't need to be done. Like, we've had conversations and everything was fine in my eyes. I thought everything was fine. When we got back to Austin, we talked about the trip. We said our goodbyes. He got his stuff, walked him to the door. He left. Yeah, and the next day he took a flight. I checked on him. I was like, "Hey, are you at the airport? Did you make it there on time?" He was like, "Yeah." It was just regular. It was regular conversation, as if you're checking in on a person who's taking a flight. That's really what it was. I made sure he landed.
But meanwhile, I was like, "Why are you checking in on me after you've just walked away from me?" You know, like I'm like, the thing was weird to me because I was like, if this is a simple disagreement two people can have, we've apologized to each other, so we continue. It's two arguments. It's not enough to decide you don't want to speak to someone anymore.
So in your head, after that trip and, after she was checking in on you, you were still in the thought process that you guys were still dating?
After the I'm sorry, I forgive you, I forgive you. I thought, okay, yeah, we're back on track. We've sorted it out.
Okay.
So
so how did you find out that you guys are no longer dating?
Well, she sent me some pictures to edit. I edited the pictures. I sent them back to her. She went to London, which we by the way, we had a whole day because she booked the trip at 6 p.m. on the 6th.
Mm-hmm.
So we had still the whole day to spend together. We were sitting on the couch. We were cuddling on the couch.
This
finally.
is in Austin?
No, this was still.
Oh,
this
so
was
you're
the day after.
Backtracking.
He said
I'm
finally.
backtracking. Yeah. So she's already had a decision to leave. She's already bought the tickets. There's nothing we can do about that.
Okay.
We've apologized to each other.
Mhm.
She's more calm. I'm more calm. So from that point on, I'm like, okay, well, maybe everything's fine.
Okay.
So the next day, when the day the 6th, the day she's leaving, we went to breakfast.
Mhm.
So that's where the confusion is, because it's like, if you're that angry, why are you so comfortable still being next to me, still cuddling with me? See what I'm saying?
Okay.
So it just creates a lot of confusion
So then,
for me.
from Austin to Las Vegas, she said obviously she's checking on you, make sure you get there okay. In your head, everything's still good.
No, when I got to her, I had to ask her one last time. I'm like, tell me straightforward. Are we still good? Are we not good? Are we not dating?
Yeah.
She's like, no, I have no interest in further dating. So I was
Okay.
like, all right, sounds good. I won't bring it up anymore.
Got
And
it.
from that point on, yeah, it was done. But the next morning, on me on my flights. So again, you see what I'm saying? I'm like, if we're done, why are you checking on me?
I mean, she said she thinks you're a cool person.
I understand, but
You're a
I'm
human being that she cared for at one
I'm not
point.
looking for no friends. I got plenty female friends,
Right.
just my friends.
Okay.
Right.
So it's like, if we're not dating,
Right.
like,
So you want to just
cut the losses
cold
and move
turkey,
on.
That's it. We're done.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when you when you really wanted someone like that on a romantic level, you can't just be their friend. You know, when you've done all of that, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to cold turkey that, because if I could understand where his feelings are, he really liked this woman. Like, this is a woman that he was dating. Like, he was dating her with intention. And it just wasn't it for her. I think she still thinks he's a decent guy, but just not her guy. That's all.
Yeah, which is what I tried to do. I just didn't respond anymore, and I was just, just letting it fizzle out.
And
It's
this
only
is
been
why- and this is why she
been a
couldn't
month.
face him. That's why she's not there
anyone
in
can
person.
recover from that.
Yeah.
There's no hard emotional investment.
Okay. All right. Well, obviously
It's just how it goes sometimes.
Yeah. Well,
That
that's
brother's
pretty much
hurt,
all
man.
everything I had. Any final thoughts on your
She
end?
checked out a long
No,
time ago. Her
Jocelyn,
feelings
no.
ain't there. But
All right. So, any upcoming projects that we should be on the lookout from either one of you, Jocelyn?
No, I don't have any upcoming.
all right, I'm a let me get this off. Never beg someone to want you. Yeah, never do that. I'm not saying that she's a bad person. Just a bad decision. Just a poor choice. I don't think she really liked a guy like that. She was betting off the fact that he was a decent guy. So it was like a safe, like, choice, right? I mean, I hate to use that word, but it's kind of essentially what that is. So he was like a safe choice. You know? So I noticed that she did not, like I said, she did not challenge anything that man said. You know, it seemed like everything that he said lined up with what the true story was. That's how I got to look at it. So I'll do another watch along. You know, I got a full-time job, so I can't always do these, but I'll do a watch along with the men's panel of Pop the Balloon. I'll wait till the next episode because usually she does women one episode, men episode, another episode, women, men. She kind of does it like that. So I'll wait till Arlette posts a new episode of this current season of Pop the Balloon. I'm sure the next one will be the women trying to pick the men, right? Where the men will be on the panel and the single ladies will come up. And I'll do a watch along with that one. All right. Yo, I'll see y'all next time. Hit me up at the Fifth General, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, TikTok, Fifth General TV. All right. I'll see y'all next time. Peace and God bless.